We need fucking bullies. Shit, that's how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
What's your go-to impression?
I've been working on my Trump. It's a lot of great people. Lots of great people on both sides. Excuse me. Fake reviews.
Ever wondered what happens when a former president with a hair-trigger temper clashes with two of the sharpest comedians in the game? Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx recently dropped some brutal truth bombs. And let's just say, Donald Trump did not take it well. The man known for throwing out insults like candy suddenly found himself on the receiving end. And his reaction? Classic meltdown. We're talking all-caps tweets, angry rants, and a spectacle so wild, even his own advisors might have reached for the popcorn. But what exactly did Rock and Fox say that pushed him over the edge? Let's just say, this one really stung.
You know, Trump is he's like a dominant female boxer. He's like Ronda Rousey. You're like, God damn it, she can fight. And then you go, oh, she hitting girls.
Jamie,
Canada's gonna be with us soon. Canada will be with America very soon. I love Canada dry. I don't like Canada wet. I like Canada dry.
We want Canada to adopt America.
I like Canada.
At least California.
Canada's gonna be with us. They're gonna be the 36th state. There's 50, sorry. 30, whatever. I don't do math. Everyone knows that I like Canada.
Before we dive deeper, go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe. Because trust me, you do not want to miss this. This wasn't just your typical late-night roast. This was a full-on comedic takedown. And it had Trump fuming. Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx, two of the sharpest minds in the game, didn't pull any punches. When their words landed, they hit like a freight train. But what exactly did they say that rattled Trump so badly? Let's put it this way. Chris Rock didn't just crack jokes about Trump. He dissected him like a scientist studying a particularly clueless lab specimen.
The cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this shit is crazy.
For years, Chris Rock hasn't treated Trump like a politician or a businessman because, frankly, he's never really seen him as either. To Rock, Trump has always been what he truly is, a loud, blustering character who somehow stumbled his way into real power. And Rock? He's never missed a beat pointing out just how absurd that is. Long before Trump turned into a political nightmare, he was already a walking punchline. The gold-plated towers, the bankrupt casinos, the over-the-top catchphrases from his reality television days. Trump didn't become a caricature, he's always been one. And with his signature smirk and razor-sharp timing, Rock saw it coming from a mile away. Trump running for president wasn't some shocking political twist. To Rock, it was just the world's worst episode of Celebrity Apprentice. But the real brilliance of Chris Rock's comedy isn't just in the punchlines, it's in the layers. He doesn't just roast Trump's blunders. He digs deeper, exposing the entire flawed system that allowed someone like Trump to rise in the first place. It's not just comedy. It's a mic-drop masterclass in social commentary.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African-American in the world, the richest African-American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right, he is African-American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
The cult of wealth worship, the obsession with celebrity, the way people mistake arrogance for competence. Chris Rock laid it all out wrapped in sharp wit, delivered with a punch that makes you laugh and think. And then came Trump's presidency. Suddenly, Rock didn't even have to try. The material practically wrote itself. Incoherent speeches, Twitter meltdowns, scandals dropping like mixtapes. It was like America had accidentally elected a stand-up comedian, except this one wasn't in on the joke. But Rock? He definitely was. He called out the contradictions, the shameless lies, and perhaps most hilariously, And tragically, the fact that Trump somehow convinced millions of people that he, of all people, was a working-class hero, a billionaire born into privilege, playing the part of one of us, while living in gold-plated penthouses. Rock didn't just make jokes, he held up a mirror. And what he reflected back wasn't just Trump, it was the culture that cheered him on.
He a war hero that got captured. I don't want to vote for nobody that got captured. I want to vote for that got away.
Trump, who rarely, if ever, apologizes for anything, sounded like he's softening a little on McCain.
And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly.
On the Kelly file, McCain's daughter Meghan couldn't be angrier.
My father has been in public office since before I was born, and this is one of the grossest, most disgusting comments I've ever heard, which is really saying something. I'm 30 years old. And it's because it's not just an attack on my father, it's an attack on all veterans, and it's an attack on all people.
A guy living in a literal gold-plated penthouse, a man who's probably never worked an honest day in his life, somehow convinced struggling Americans that he understood them. It would have been hilarious if it weren't so terrifying. And Rock didn't just keep the spotlight on Trump. He turned the heat on the enabler's tooth sycophants who bent over backward to defend every outrageous thing he said or did. The politicians who suddenly forgot what words like integrity or principles even meant. Nothing gets under Trump's skin quite like being the punchline, especially when the joke lands dead on. And Rock's humor? It's not the kind you can just shrug off. It lingers. It burrows into your brain. Because deep down even Trump's most loyal fans know the truth. If you constantly have to remind people you're a genius, odds are you're not one. And if you can't handle a comedian pointing that out, maybe the presidency wasn't the best career move. People have always said Chris Rock has this rare gift. He makes you laugh and squirm at the same time. And his latest stand-up bit on Trump's post-presidency meltdown? No exception. He didn't just joke about Trump. He peeled back the layers of delusion like a chef slicing into an overcooked, spray-tanned onion. The legal troubles, the desperate rallies, the non-stop whining about a stolen election. Rock laid it all out with the precision of a surgeon and the ruthlessness of a roastmaster who knows his subject is way past their expiration date. Trump's post-presidency, as Rock pointed out, wasn't exactly a graceful exit. And those rallies? Oh, the rallies. Rock couldn't help but roast the fact that, 2 years out of office, Trump was still touring like a washed-up band, clinging to the one-hit single that got them famous and refusing to believe the world's moved on. The election was stolen. Trump still howls. Meanwhile, the rest of us? We've already changed the channel.
A lot of great people on both sides. I love Cameron. I love Cameron. She's great. I love all of her movies. I love Charlie's Angel. I feel like I'm a Charlie.
By the way, the best Trump I've ever seen.
Excuse me. Fake news. Fake news!
You know, like if it's Dave Chappelle, bam! Christ, can't believe this. And then certain people I work on, like I work on the Will Smith. Because we're here, and then they're there, and then we're here.
But then came the moment, the one that really made Trump see red. One joke, one line, so devastatingly on point that even his most loyal supporters had to fight back a chuckle. Chris Rock compared Trump's legal troubles to a deadbeat dad dodging child support, always full of excuses, always blaming someone else, always acting shocked when the consequences finally caught up. The crowd lost it. The lawsuits, the investigations, the indictments, stacking up like bad Yelp reviews at one of Trump's old casinos. It was the perfect punch. Not wild, not exaggerated, just brutally, hilariously honest. It was the classic story of a guy who thought he could outrun reality forever, only to find out the real world doesn't work like a reality show. Even people who'd spent years pretending Trump was some kind of misunderstood genius had to admit, Rock nailed it. No cartoonish impersonation, no over-the-top caricature, just a spotlight on the exhausting, never-ending act that is Trump's post-presidency, a daily scramble to dodge accountability at all costs. And if there's one thing Trump hates more than a fact-check, it's accountability, well, that and a microphone that doesn't crank his voice up to full-on dictator mode. Naturally, the meltdown came next. Furious rants, rambling attacks on woke comedians, and, of course, the classic fallback, calling Chris Rock washed up, because when you're cornered by truth, the only move left is projection.
Trump is not playing. They got Elon. They're going to put him in a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's going to marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
Because that's the playbook, right? Deflect, deny, insult. But here's the thing. Chris Rock doesn't need to fight back. The joke already did the damage. That's the beauty of great comedy. Once it's out there, it lives rent-free in people's minds. And Trump, for all his bluster and bravado, knows deep down that no tweet, no rant, no insult is ever going to erase that punchline. And just when he thought the embarrassment couldn't possibly get worse, Jamie Foxx stepped in. If Chris Rock hit him with facts, Jamie Foxx went for something even more unbearable, a dead-on impression that made Trump look like a full-blown cartoon character, and not the kind you root for. See, Trump can brush off criticism. He can attack comedians from behind a podium or a Truth Social post. But what he cannot stand, what cuts the deepest, is being made to look like a total buffoon while sounding exactly like himself. And that's where Fox thrives. The bizarre, stuttering pauses that make it seem like Trump is buffering mid-sentence. The endless repetition when he clearly has no idea what he's saying. The voice shifting wildly, from cocky to whiny to suddenly, deeply, embarrassingly sad, all in the span of 30 seconds. It's not just a good impression, it's surgical. So good that even die-hard Trump fans have admitted, at least once, they thought it was actually him. That's not an impression, that's a weapon.
A lot of great people. Lots of great people on Bush. I love London. London falling down.
I just got to tell you that you might have met your match. Because I also do a Donald Trump impression. Jamie Foxx, the greatest Fox in the wilderness. Great guy.
Yes. Do you have the yell? There. You gotta get the yell. They tried to give me the virus. You know what he does there? I beat the virus. They try to give me, you know what I'm saying?
He just turns into people. He just turns into people. It's
That is
amazing.
so good.
I love her.
Have you ever seen his
She's
rock?
African. I love her hair.
Can we?
She's African.
I love her hair.
I love his sweater. He's got a great sweater. He's got a great. Excuse me. They tried to give me the virus.
They tried. This is the best. I love that.
When Jamie Foxx unleashed his impression recently, it wasn't just funny, it was absolutely brutal. He didn't just mimic Trump's voice, he captured the entire Trumpian mindset, or rather, the chaotic jumble that passes for one. Fox rambled about how nobody had ever seen a courtroom like his, how the deep state was coming after him, and how he knew some very strong guys who totally agreed with him. Though of course, he couldn't name any of them. It was all there. The incoherence, the ego, the wild detours mid-sentence, and the complete inability to form a coherent thought. The crowd erupted. But the real moment, the one that left Trump truly rattled, came when Fox, still in character, started answering audience questions exactly the way Trump would. No exaggeration. No over-the-top parody. Just raw, unfiltered Trump logic. Someone brought up Chris Rock's joke, and Fox fired back in perfect cadence. Chris Rock? He's not funny anymore, folks. He used to be funny. He used to be one of the greats. Now? Sad. Just very sad. It was flawless. Too flawless. And Trump hated every second of it. If Rock's punchline was a jab to the ribs, Fox's impression was like holding up a mirror so sharp and so accurate that Trump was forced to stare directly at his own absurdity.
Well, listen, honestly, some of the people around this say, let's not get political, but Jamie Foxx did the worst impression of me that I've ever heard. A terrible Trump.
It wasn't that bad.
It was so bad.
A lot of times people say it's bad, but it was actually the best
Jamie,
impersonation of me
that
I've ever done of me.
Jamie, it was a disaster.
And I wasn't even there.
Jamie, the saying Ray could have actually seen how bad it was.
To be honest with you, Stevie Wonder said it was amazing. So do you believe that
you know
blind
what?
guy or the other
You
blind
know what?
guy?
He's a nasty
It's a lot
guy.
of great people.
He's a nasty, pathetic.
This is what he sounds like. The rambling, nonsensical monologues that never seem to have a clear destination. It's the absurdity of it all. And the worst part is, there's no way to fight back. You can call a comedian washed up, claim they're lying, but how do you attack an impression that's literally just you? So naturally, Trump did what he always does. He lashed out with incoherent rants and tried desperately to change the subject. But the damage was already done. Fox had exposed something far deeper than a political scandal or legal trouble. He had shown the world in the clearest, most undeniable way possible that Trump is the joke. And nothing infuriates him more than that. And then came the clip, the one that spread like wildfire, sweeping across every corner of the internet at lightning speed. Jamie Foxx, sitting casually among friends, suddenly morphed into Donald Trump. But this wasn't just any Trump impression. It wasn't some overblown, cartoonish parody with flailing hands or wild gestures. No, Foxx nailed the very essence of Trump. The way he meanders through sentences as though he's lost in a hedge maze, the jarring shifts from arrogance to self-pity, the desperate need to convince everyone, including himself, he's the greatest at everything, even when it has nothing to do with the topic at hand. The bit kicked off with Trump's classic go-to move, taking credit for everything.
It's a lot of great people. Lots of great people on both sides. That's all I can say. Excuse me. Fake news. Fake news. They're trying to give me the...
A lot of great people on both sides. Not just, I love Cameron. I love Cameron Diaz. She's great. I love all of her movies. I love Charlie's Angel. I feel like I'm a Charlie.
By the way, the best Trump I've ever seen.
Excuse me. Fake news. Fake news! You know, like if it's Dave Chappelle, bounce! Crazy. Can't believe this. And then certain people I work on, like I work on the Will Smith, because we're here, and then they're there, and then we're here.
And that's exactly why Trump hates them. He can attack the media as fake news, dismiss political rivals as losers, and try to bury any criticism with his usual rhetoric. But when someone like Jamie Foxx or Chris Rock makes a joke at his expense, there's nothing he can do. No executive orders can cancel a punchline. That's what makes this comedic takedown so brutal. Every scandal, every meltdown, every ridiculous claim they've made, guys like Rock and Fox don't just call it out, they immortalize it. Trump spent years building an image of himself as larger than life, the guy who always had the last word, the one who couldn't be taken down. But he can't control a joke, and he definitely can't stop people from laughing at him. And that might just be the biggest blow of them all.